Oh, we back, man. We back, baby. Welcome back to the Prester John investigation, installment number 80. And we sprinting right through this thing on our way to Prester John 100. Ahab, code keepers, all the contributors at 432 The Drop Radio. And Ahab to the family, Hispaniola History Channel left this great comment about this TUSAYAN. We picking it right up, talking about TUSAYAN. Out the American Anthropologist, Volume 9, Washington, D.C., May 1896, Number 5, The Prehistoric Culture of TUSAYAN, by J. Walter Fuchs, F-E-W-K-E-S. The Pueblo Indians offer most interesting problems to the historian, the archaeologist, and the ethnologist. Among these people are found the oldest villages of the United States. So we're talking the oldest in at least North America is what they're saying, which is why this area is so hot. Why when we talk ancient world, old world, we keep coming back right around this area, right? This Arizona, Grand Canyon. I mean, we're talking all this stuff. When we've been talking Grand Canyon, we've been talking to Grand Con. We put it together, all these excavations around 1930s. But let's go, G. Kincaid, all them bodies on bodies. He's pulling out these artifacts, the ones they're telling us about. We're still talking the Grand Canyon, but we're talking entire towns outside of that. All this connected. Now the fam just, had just dropped this TUSAYAN on us, I'm saying? Connecting a couple things and, here we are. Here we are. Let's go. Let's go, man. So among these people are found the oldest villages of the United States, towns populous a century before the Mayflower set sail for the New World. Already populated. American. A native of America. Originally applied to the originals or the copper colored races. Why does it matter? Let's go, man. We popping off. Found here. Brought here? No. Found here, boss. Where? America. There are races or tribes of copper-colored Nagas that weren't brought here from Africa, but were just found here, boss? Yeah, that's what it says in the dictionary. Con. Found here by the Europeans, but now the title is applied. Now it's applied to all the descendants of the hijacks that took our things and took our stuff, that are just born in America. They changed the rules on us, y'all. Now you could be born in a foreign land and you take the titles of the people that are native, right? The copper color Nagas, right? We're going to get back to this copper real soon. We're just talking the cons, the Grand Con and Grand Canyon. And we're talking TUSAYAN. Before I even get more of this, just remember the link that the Family Hispaniola History Channel dropped, standard wiki, right? Just talking about this TUSAYAN. Hey, you want to go to Zion? TUSAYAN. I know, these people crazy, man. These people crazy, right? Now, it could be nothing. It could be something. It could just be another little ghost town, something. No, this is a little operating town, but it's so much more. These are like front towns, we don't front you a town, but there's so much more, right? Yeah, okay, located in this Coconino County, Arizona, incorporated 2010, a resort town now, near the south entrance to the Grand Canyon. So it's really close to the Grand Canyon. It's pretty much a part of the Grand Canyon. Another link called it the door to the Grand Canyon. That's very interesting because we're just talking about TUSAYAN. door to the Grand Canyon. Entrance, right? We're just decoding in the matrix. TUSAYAN is served by Grand Canyon National Park, airport. Population was 558, so they got a little front town with 500 people in it, just to give them a little town. But they ain't talking about the real Naga cities, man, and what this place really represents, right? Because they're only talking 144 acres. Oh no, there's way more than 144 acres when we're talking Zion. We're just digging on it. We're just digging on it. You got Zion National Forest. Oh, established by the U.S. Forest Service in Arizona, July 1st, 1910, Hijack City, with 1,830,487 acres, my noggin. I said acres, my noggin. I said 1,830,487 acres. Now they got a little front town called Little Zion, TUSAYAN. 144, right? 144, right? Everything they're doing is for a reason and a purpose, man. I'm just so now you got 2 million acres of a national forest. Where they do that at? What's really in this thing? You know what I'm saying? They're controlling 2 million acres of Zion to Zion. October 22nd, 1934. Right, this is the same time that G.E. Kincaid is excavating the Grand Canyon. Everything's going down. Everything's going up. The Kalalu's artifacts are being excavated. Go get the book by Cyclone Covey, Kalalu's. Everything's being excavated in 1930. Everything is being, we got real explorers popping off, Admiral Byrd. Everything's happening, man. So, 1934, the entire forest was transferred to the Khabib National Forest. So these guys own a lot, whatever they want to call Khabib National Forest borders. They own a lot. You know what I'm saying? So all them, is really the same owner. But, this is what they're putting it under these particular, pockets. Khabib this. But they transferred it to Khabib, and the name was discontinued. What name? To Zion. Why stop calling it Zion? Why was it discontinued? National Forest. So when you're riding through and you just see Khabib National Forest, you didn't know that. They just changed it to Khabib. And all them 1,830,000 acres of Zion is now being, assimilated within this Khabib, National Forest. So the name Zion is remembered no more, right? And this all started with this Zion Ruins flow. To Zion Ruins or to Zion Pueblo. 800-year-old Pueblo Indian site located within the Grand Canyon National Park. 800, huh? 800-year-old. Huh? Yeah, because they dated to 1185, right? So we got this last time, and this brings us right into the Prester flow. So happening around this 1185 in the Mongol history, the Jin dynasties, the Kins, what's the one we just did? Oh yeah, the Shia is popping off. The Shia. All this is happening. Jin dynasty emerging 1115, right? All this is happening. It's all happening. 1205. 1203, you got the death of the Karyat leader Kong, who was On Kong, none other than Wang Kong, or Priest King. Yeah. This is the Prester that's being rolled up on. Khan of Khan of the Carrots, Kara, the copper colored knockers. He was the blood brother of the Mongol chief Yesugwe and served as an important early patron and early ally to Yesugwe's son Temujin. So Wang Kong, who is Prester John, was the blood brother, or Anda, can refer to two or more men not related by birth who have sworn loyalty to each other. They made a blood oath to be loyal to each other. So he's a blood brother because of the oath to Genghis Khan's pops. Him and Genghis Khan's daddy had an oath. Genghis Khan thought he could be a David too. He thought he could be a Khan too. He wanted to take the power of the Khan from old Unc and from old Uncle Prester. You see where this all comes together now. Same date, right? 1203. All these Karya dates, same time. Khan of the Karya, it's 1165 to 1194. So I'm just bringing you here so we understand that we're just talking these same dates. 1195, it's 1185. Just put it all together. So this one, we just went into the Mongol flow right quick to bring us right back to Zion. Now, they want to put it beginning at 1185. It is found on the Desert View Drive portion of the Arizona State Route 64, 3 miles west of the Desert View Watchtower. The site was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1975. Why? I mean, the Grand Canyon, I get it, but why is this put on the Register of Historic Places, right? The site was excavated in 1930 by members of the Gila Pueblo of Globe, Arizona. Preservation work took place in 1948 to 1965. Preservation, or, are they just hiding the drop, covering up the drop? The site represents the survival of an isolated Pueblo II culture, so that gives us a lead to start really digging on the Pueblo IIs, the Pueblo II culture, into the Pueblo III era. TUSAYAN Ruin and Museum is a NPS National Park Service interpreted location, which includes a trail from the museum through part of the ruin. Why is Zion in ruin? Why has our land become desolate, trodden down? Tours may be ranger-led or self-guided. The TUSAYAN Museum was built in 1928 to a design by National Park Service architect Herbert Mayer and sponsored by Laura Spelman Rockefeller, right? When we say, is this the Rockefeller? Is this the wife of the Rockefeller? Prominent member of the Rockefeller family, her husband was Standard Oil co-founder John D. Rockefeller. Spelman College is named after Lady Spelman Rockefeller. Oh boy. They had us, they had a knock at hello, man. Hey, go to this historic black university. It's run by the high-level rich witch, the witch herself, Miss Spellman, the witch. Because we're black, right? We're wicked, right? Black colleges, right? So Rockefeller sponsored this whole entire, makeover of this TUSAYAN Museum. Artifacts. Now I gotta go through the Rockefellers. It's a interesting question. You know what I'm saying? What does Zion? What do Zionists? What does the Zionists have to do with Zion? You know what I'm saying? Oh man, we're just having fun, man. What does the Zionists have to do with the Zion, man? You know, it seems that they got in and they set up shop. They pillaged. They pretty much raped everything blind. Put their name on it. Put their boundaries up and just gutted it out. And where's the drop? Which museum is it in? Is it in the Zion Museum or is it underneath the Zion Museum? What's really happening? So this link right here, this continues on this because I wanted to continue to work from Prester John 79. Let's read a little piece. It says the Pueblo Indians offer most interesting problems to the historian, the archaeologist, the ethnologist. Among these people are found the oldest villages of the United States, towns populous a century before the Mayflower, right? Copper-colored found here, set sail for the New World, and continuously inhabited from that time until the present day. One of these ancient pueblos occupying the same site that it did in the very earliest times is called Orabi, the largest village of the province of TUSAYAN in northeastern Arizona. I'm about to say Australia. All right, so they're saying this Orabi is the largest village of the province of TUSAYAN. And it has an interesting origin. This Orabi, they say, this Orabi connects to more of this Muslim flow or Arabic flow, an Arabic name for boys, meaning keen, perceptive, intelligent. So you can look more into it. And we're going to talk Lebanon because, look, this is literally surfing away, Managi. Literally surfing away. So this username is mostly used in Lebanon. And it got me thinking about Labana. Surf the wave, man. It's Precious 980. We can do this, man. We could talk to Zion. We could talk Lebanon at the same time, right? Yeah, man. See, Lebanon, let me see this one right here. Lebanon reminds me of this Labana. Lebanon, right? And it's mentioned a couple times, his name, Ezra 2:45, the children of Labana, the children of Hagabah. It's repeated in Nehemiah 7:48, the children of Labana. So who's Labana, right? I mean, who's Lebanon? We're just putting everything back, the orientation. We're taking it all back right here. Right here, the Indian Superior. I think they duplicated us everywhere, and we caught them slipping. Oh, we catching them slipping. Okay. An Israelite, Lebanon. Who's Lebanon, man? An Israelite. Okay. Head of a family of returning exiles. We're talking exilarchs now. Because, during Babylonian, captivity, we had exilarchs, and these were the heads of families of the Hebrews or the Israelites, right? This Labana, and in love to the Aquas, because, I want to continue to bring in the Sheba Khalifa flow, the high Amazon Queen flow. We're just surfing away for real. You know what I'm saying? Love to the Lady Dragons on the wall. I got to big up my Lady Dragons because, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's many situations we get into where we have the Aquas, you know what I'm saying, keeping the order. keeping the order when they had to, you know what I'm saying? Keeping the order, straight up, Big Mama style, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, different tribes have, their different flow of what they call a matriarchy, you know what I'm saying? But, mainly it's tracing back to this seed, you know what I'm saying? Tracing back, to the queen that's connected to the seed, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all connected. We always, rock together. We needed each other. David, Sheba needed each other. Solomon, Sheba needed each other. You know what I'm saying? There's a union, man. There's a oneness when it came to the frame and shape of flow. So, during one time, you got Queen Tamar. She had to pop off and restore order. You know what I mean? So many times our Aquas had to do this, whether you would call it a matriarchy, straight up, or was it a time period, you know what I'm saying, where, this particular, flow had to be done. You know what I'm saying? You know, we try to dodge all of what they try to make as one thing and say, oh, all of Indian tribes, went under matriarchy. You know what I'm saying? Not when you have, the Prester flow. So, there was a union, in the priest kings and the priest queens. You know what I'm saying? And Big Mama, always has a always has the word in the house. You know what I'm saying? So we know that. So, when it comes to Labana and the high Amazon queens, they had their counterparts. You know what I'm saying? They had their priest counterparts, like Sheba and David, all this connected. So Labana, just follow me now because I'm going, first to the script, right? First mentioning in Nehemiah 7, Ezra 2, 45, an Israelite head of a family of returning exile. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Just looking more at Nehemiah. It lists several names: Labana, Hagabah, Shalma, sons of Labana. Right. So let's talk about the sons of Labana, man. Let's go. Let's go. Now you can also find Labana under this Lebnu, Princess Lebnu. Daughter of David the I'm sticking to the same time period that we're digging on all this Pueblo 2 situation and the TUSAYAN. I mean, this is all happening, right? Lebnu is also Labana. Left to Aqua Miss D Fireball, she had mentioned this Princess Dara of Rubati, Gadi, and Madi. Sister of Hanan II, or Kana, right? Son of David. Same time period. Princess Lebnu. So her and Labana, or Lebnu, are sisters. Khan. Check this out, right? So this is Solomon the First. He's the direct son. Same time period, right? They said 1185 for the Pueblo to Zion. It's 1195, between 1195 and 1135. So we still are sticking right here in the 12th century, right? So son of Prester John, right? Prester John. Solomon the Second. Solomon the First is the son of Prester John. Okay. And we talked about Lady Hannah, and we're going to circle back to Lady Hannah because it's another high Amazon queen, another, lady dragon on the wall. Like I said, I'm big up in my lady dragons on the wall, and this entire flow, you know what I'm saying? So, we see it clearly. They try to make it one thing or another thing. We see what it is. We see how we do our vibe, our frame, our shape, the ingredients, we're putting it together a lot. Wow. So Prester John has multiple sons. This is a couple of them that they got listed, right? They got the XLR David, the six that plays a lot within this Genghis Khan flow. He looks like who might have been slain, you know what I'm saying, when this war popped off, not the president himself. But you also got Solomon the First. All right, so Raja Hiraja Chola II, Emperor of Soli. Right now you also have Soliman or Soli. So this Soli is a title. Solomon's a title. Again, it just means shalom, shaloma, peace, right? So, King of Peace, right? Let's go. So let's check out Solomon the First. Solomon the First is the husband of another lady dragon on the wall, right? We talked about Lady Hannah, but now we're talking about Labana, right? Okay. It's getting good. And we just said Labana is also Lebnu, Khan, confirmation, Queen of Rubati, Gadi, and Mani. So, we could say Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh, and it doesn't mean that she's of the tribe necessarily of Reuben, Gad, or Manasseh. It could mean that she's, rocking with the, kings of Judah, you know what I'm saying, which would be at that time, king of Israel, David's, Khan of all of Israel. So they would all be over these Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh, even as the tribe of Judah. So, there's different ways you could look at it. But remember, the scepter never departs from Judah, in the book of Genesis. So this Lebnu is Labana, wife of Solomon the First, is all they tell us. They tell us nothing else, right? So we're over here surfing the wave, okay? Knowing that Lebnu is Labana. So we have to get it separately in a separate search under this Princess Dara that she has a sister, Princess Lebnu. Now, it doesn't say Labana over here. You got to do separate recon for that, right? But it does say daughter of David the First. Rodan, remember the Roda, the kingdom of Roda right there in Arizona as well. King of Rubati, Gadi, and Mani, and Hannah, queen of Tahama, sister of Princess Dara, and Hannah II. So you see these names, starting to, spiral up a little bit, starting to connect a couple things. Because this other Lebna or Labana didn't tell us who her father was. And this says she's daughter of David the First. Let's check him out. Dewey. So yeah, this website's interesting because different code names lead you different places, and you got to put different ones together to put a story together. You know what I mean? Now, this is Dewey, Dodi, Radan, king of Rubati Gadi Mani. So what's up with this Rubati Gadi Mani? Circa 1200, and ain't circa 1200 still Managa lining up with this TUSAYAN ruins that they date 1185, circa 1200. And don't tell us we're going off. We right here. We've been right here the whole time. Circa 1200. Husband of Hannah. So husband of Hannah. I'll figure it out with y'all, man. This is a puzzle. We always come back to it though. We got a lot of courage, man. We ain't gave up. We keep coming back to get, one piece at a time. Here a little, there a little, man. So husband of Hannah. Okay. And they have Labana. Who else does Hannah have? All right. So it just says Hannah is the mother of Dara, Hannon the second, king of Tahama, and Princess Lebanu or Lebna. Let's click on Hannah. Hannah. He sound familiar. So that's all they're gonna give us. Okay, man. Back to this David the first. But it doesn't tell us who his father is. You know what I mean? So you got different, Davids, different titles. We're just trying to put these Davids together. One David's not all the Davids. But we're gonna read something very interesting about, how this title, this Lady Hannah flow. You know what I mean? How this title, really became, something that was like really embedded, within the culture of the Israelites at this time. You know what I mean? This is just stuff that they don't ever expose to us. You know what I mean? So I'm just grateful for the investigation to be riding with y'all, man. We just talking Lebanon or Limbu. And this Tahama is going to keep popping up as well. Okay. Limdu. Back to brown drivers, Labana, head of the family, right? I'm just putting this together with this Jenny, because Jenny they ain't on no play, man. We done proved that. They right there the whole time, right? I'm just saying, if these things match up for real, then it gives us a better. I mean, we have a nice hard hit, in the investigation with the timeline. We're about to watch some timeline drop in a minute, as promised. We keep trying to get to it. All right, we're talking about the wife of Solomon the first. Now, this don't have to be King Solomon, you know what I'm saying? But this Solomon is the son of Prester John. And Prester John's son Solomon, his wife is Laban. So Solomon, his dad, is the Prester. And Laban, her dad is a David, or has a David title. You know what I mean? Man, super, I'm trying to, it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle, man. That's all we can say. It's a puzzle. We're going to get back on this Princess Dara as well. All this is interesting, especially this Hanan. Hold up, man. I just got to go back for a second. All right. So Solomon and David are brothers. And they also have a brother, Hanan. Now, they didn't tell us that much about Hanan the second, but maybe this would be Hanan the first, and Hanan the second is named after this Hanan. But this Hanan is also sometimes spelled Canaan, because they put a C or a K when you look up different, versions of this timeline. And this Hanan comes with a C or a K. And that's just when we say Canaan, choose your Canaan. But they also take the H off, like Anna, right? That's when we said Ania, because this Ania pops up on the map. Right over North America, man. Ania. Then you got Corvera, which we broke down into Heber, Heber, Eber, Phoenician Naga, whatever they called him in that book. India once ruled the America. He's named after a Phoenician Naga. You're talking about your ancestor Eber, where you're getting the Eber root. This whole region. Anion is Hanan, or Anan ben David, which we got before, wrote the code. We'll get back on our Mama Nidez flow. Antioch. All right, man. All right, man. Okay, let's go. Now, this Lebna is also mentioned in this link that we got right there on 432thedrop.com. Roger here, Roger Cholo II. All right, I'm sorry, I know the print's a little light. I got to make an adjustment on this, but they say Jad around 1163 to 1178. All right, I'm going to read it to you. The first Prester John and Christian emperor dies to hijack. We're talking about the Hebrew priest king of the three Indias. The so-called Voynich manuscript is a 15th century copy of the original, which was written by him in the 12th century. We're talking 1100s, right? Prester John. So as further confirmation, I told you that they ain't on no play. Prester John wrote the Voynich manuscript is saying in the 12th century. The Voynich manuscript has not been, it's an encrypted Hebreo stylized, whatever they call it, stylized, Indianized, but they can't crack the code. But it's written by Prester John, right? Oh, here they go. It's a Hebreo, Georgian, Indian language of the royal house. That's all we know. Right. All right. He had at least 3 sons by his Jewish wife or Hebrew wife, Lady Gavaret Hannah. His son David Solomon became a Babylonian exarch. And we're just talking about the exile, right? Right. Ruler of the family during the exile, right? Head of the family of returning exiles, right? That's why we're talking exarchs. Exile, and as we Genghis Khan, remember what Genghis Khan looks like. A slim brother, because V.S. Smirnov in 1883 noted that Genghis Khan is depicted as a black man, right? Another copper color knock, because he's a part of the family. His father was blood brother, or had a blood oath with the Prester. Back to the Roger and Roger Chola, right? David Saul, who's the son of Prester John. This is what we're getting. So this is linking up directly with this other drop that we've been linking up as well. This is Prester John installment number 80. His son David Solomon became a Babylonian exile, and the husband of Queen Tamar. So Prester John, right? David Solomon is not his only son. He also has Solomon I, who marries Labana, right? Or Lebnu. David Solomon marries Queen Tamar of Georgia. We went through that whole story about, how they were in love and she was promised to this Uri or Uriel, something like that, Uri. And we connected that with this Uriel the Hittite or Uriah the Hittite. So you got a Uriah over here, you got a Uriah popping up in the 12th century, married to this Queen Tamar, who, could be this Bathsheba, what I'm saying, popping off with this David and Bathsheba situation and this Uriah. Except this Uriah, he was rebelling against her. And they didn't put that part in the Bible, right? They acted like he was just a good old mighty man and doing good things. In this story, he was rebelling against her and they had to put him down. And so it wasn't like he murdered a man. He was, putting down a rebel, what I'm saying, to the house of Israel at that time. So 2 different sides of the story. That's what we said is David might be innocent of murder. We know he kills, on the battlefield, but murder, it might be a different story with this Uriah. So, and I think it's connected right here in this Queen Tamar situation with old David Solomon, who's the son of Prester John. Okay. And then his son Hanan, now look how they spell it. Hanan, right? Hani became the prince or king of the Jews of Tehama. His son Solomon solely was the Jewish prince or the Hebrew prince or king of Tammuz who married Queen Lebnu or Labana of the Rubani. We're just putting a few things together. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at DuckDuckGo for some drop on this Rubani. This Rusadan. This is kind of interesting. Here, check this out. Queen Mother, right? We're talking High Amazon Queen. I'm talking to Aqua. Rossi Rusadan of the Rubati Ghanaian. We're talking Clan Ross again. I can't make this stuff up, man. Can't make this stuff up. Rosadan of the Rubati Gadi Imani. And this is, now skipped up in the timeline. We're about to get on these timelines up to the 15th century. So there's some type of correlation between the 15th and the 12th century. Again, is it possible that they shifted the timeline back from the 15th century to the 12th century? And then again, another 1,000 years. And again, 1,800 years into the BCs. Is the real story happening in the 15th, century, 1400s, right around this Estebanico, Colombo, all this stuff happening? Because it's all happening. Okay. It's all happening, man. $11.85, you got Zion popping off. They're calling it a historical place, National Register of Historic Places. And what is Orabi that's linked with this? Mostly used in the Labana, right? So what does this got to do with Lebanon, huh? Labana. And what's this Arabi Arabic flow happening right by Zion, man? It's a more and more war happening, man. That's all we know. Arabi, largest village of the province of TUSAYAN. The accounts of the early Spanish explorers give us an imperfect picture of TUSAYAN culture in the latter part of the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries. And there still remains much to be learned from documentary sources concerning TUSAYAN during that period. The wealth of unworked material which awaits the historian in the archives of the Indies, of the Lonja at Seville, and other libraries of Spain is very great. Let's go. So they got all the drop in the libraries. Lonja, Lonja at Seville, the archives of the Indies, libraries of Spain, and it is to be hoped that many more years will not elapse before these manuscripts are brought from their hiding places, their quaint old script deciphered, right, like the Voynich manuscript, and made to reveal the secrets which they have held buried from sight for so many years. We're just talking to Zion. Whoa, where do we go, right? Which way do we go? We were just talking prehistory culture of Zion, American anthropologists, volume 9. And now we're talking about secrets, hiding places, manuscripts brought from their hiding places. Quaint old script deciphered. What's to be deciphered out of Zion? And made to reveal the secrets which they have held buried from sight for so many years. Is that why I mean, is this why they discontinued the name Zion National Forest? Kept a little town, right? They kept this little bitty town. Where's that little town at? Look at this thing, man. This thing, man. Town up to Zion. Remember, it's about 144 acres. Oh, yeah. You get handcrafted souvenirs from Native American artists. Marvelous air grand tours of the Grand Canyon offers millions of visitors unforgettable memories. Zion truly provides a Wild West experience. Look at this, man. And hijacked Zion. Oh, look at this, man. It's supposed to be the mayor and the councilors, members of Zion. Look at this guy, man. His buckle ain't even. Look at his buckle, man. Look at this, man. Look at this, man. Look at this. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, man. So this is what they turn it into. That's what they turn Zion into. Meanwhile, we got hiding places, old deciphered, old script deciphered. Right, let's go. The authenticity or authentic documentary history of Zion began in, 1540, when the intrepid Spanish conqueror, having established himself in Cibola. Here we go. Esteban goes back. This is their first documented evidence. So when he got killed, Esteban, right? The black Esteban. We gonna get, when Esteban got killed in New Mexico, he had already been touching, all these sacred areas, right? He already been to Zion. 1540, Coronado. You can get that we got that on Tuesday now at 432thedrop.com. Look out for us, man. We right on track, right on time, and it's only the way. The intrepid Spanish conqueror, having established himself in Cibola. Now, remember what it says in Forbidden Histories of America. Why not? By Annual Low. We just reference it right quick. They talking Cibola on us. We want to make sure that when we talk Cibola, we talking the same Cibola they talk. Because they got maps and stuff. They're going to give you these images and they trying to hide you, man. They trying to hide you. Let's get it from right here. This is Cibola right quick. And I'm just flowing, man. This is a beautiful flow. This is hit Prester John 80. Right in their face bone. We're just talking Mexico. We're just talking America. And these are the forbidden histories. We got to talk some more Lake Kapala, but for time, take that flow. All right. So if you look at some of the maps done by the old Latin explorers, even in the 1700s, it is quite obvious that they were lacking in this seeming well-guarded secret. We've been talking secrets, so let's keep talking secrets. A land of Kalalus or Cibola, right? So these things are interchangeable. When we talk Kalalus, we're talking Cibola. When we talk Cibola, we're also talking Shambhala. Shambhala becomes Cibola. On a map like this, it's spelled Ceuvola. Ceuola or Cevola, sometimes Cibola. All this is Shambhala. Cibola, Cibola. Cibola, right? You see that septum, that's seven, Sita, 7 cities. And it's interesting, they got 7 cities, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 around this Lake Kapala, which is why he was talking about the Lake Kapala, elusive Lake Kapala. This is out the treasures of Utah, my knock. I'm gonna leave the link, you get the drop. All I need you to know is that the land of Kalalus is Cibola, right? And you know what Kalalus means, right? Kalalus means promised land. So if Kalalus means promised land by default, Cibola means promised land. And when they talk Cibola, they're talking Kalalus is the land of America. Ping, pow. Stop right there. We're just talking Cibola. We're just talking Kalalus. Okay. So Coronado, having established himself in Cibola, okay, you saw it on the map, sent Don Pedro de Torbar, one of his officers, to explore a province to the northwest called TUSAYAN, which was reported to contain 7 cities. I'm out of here. I'm out of here, man. We was gonna drop so much more, my nigga, but I can't take it no more. I'm all dropped up, man. I'm all dropped up. Yeah, I mean, because it's all happening, man. It don't get no realer than this, man. This is why we search for Hawaii and Kondawi, because we start talking to Zion, which connects to the Coronado flow, the Esteban Eagle cities of gold, right back to King Dawi. You'll see. Let's go. We out of here, baby. Province Northwest called to Zion, which was reported to contain 7 cities. Cities of gold. How do we start talking to Zion? Learn that it contains over 1,830,487 acres. And then start talking about 7 cities of gold with this same design. And we're still talking Grand Canyon, which means we're still talking the Grand Khan. Tobar crossed the arid plains which separated Cibola from Zion, and suddenly appeared to the astonished natives not far from what is now called Jedi. Can't make this up, man. Jedi Toe or Antelope Valley. Jedi, my naga. Judah, my naga. Let's go. South of the then populous pueblo of Awa, or Hawa, Toby, there probably occurred the first contact of Spaniard and Hopi, and in the episode which transpired, the authentic history of Zion began. to them, something began. They don't know when anything began. We're the copper-colored nuggets found here by the European, right? It is interesting to read Castaneda's straightforward account of this first meeting of Spanish soldiers and Hopi warriors, especially as it mentions a Zion custom which has survived to the present day. I'm gonna drop this link, Monagas. We're gonna get back to the Zion here because talk about these customs. They just, really baked my noodle, when I was looking at this. Definitely this Jedi. Oh yeah, and they're talking about First contact of Spaniard and Hopi. First contact. First contact reminds me of something they like to call the Little Ice Age. Yeah, we're talking about Native American disease and epidemics. I'm just skipping right here. Some 21st century climate scientists have suggested that a severe reduction of the indigenous population. Right. So when they rode up on TUSAYAN and Cibola and the rest of the copper-colored Nagas found here, you know what Grandma Penny looked like? We talking about the copper-colored Nagas found here. Found where? Well, here's Florida, where much gold is found. And here's the mysterious island of Kapangu, which is also Japan, right here by Florida, the real Japan, yeah. We're talking about Karakatai, right? Means pure land or promised land. This is the great Khan of China. Up top, why is China here? Why is China here? And Florida right here, and Barbados right here, Kapangu, China? Maybe this is the real China. I mean, the city of content ships. Oh, you're talking about the real spices, the real Silk Road, the real spice trade, huh? Chinese sail upon this ocean. You talking about the Atlantic Ocean? Atlantis? Interesting map, right? Interesting map, right? This is a map of America and the way to China as it needed to be, which an old pilot showed to King Henry VII in the year 1500s. Man, we still right here in the time zone 1500s, right? When they came over here, they didn't find no North America, my. They found the Khan. And this leads us right to this Grand Canyon to Zion situation. China's not over there, it's right here. China is Khan. You just talking about chi, right? You got that chi, you got that key. This is where you find it. Land unknown, huh? But we know we got fire dragons popping off in the land of the Naga. Yeah, we talking the goose. And remember, there ain't no cap on Antarctica's chest bone. And that's why we're talking about this little ice age, because when did Antarctica get frozen over, right? I mean, all this is relevant to this King Grand Khan investigation, because it seems like when they rode up on us here, everything turned cold. Everything turned cold. I'm talking Antarctica turned cold. Everything turned cold. When they found us here, copper color Khan, everything turned cold. This severe reduction of the indigenous population of the Americas, copper color races found here, the accompanying reduction in cultivated lands during the 16th, 17th, and 18th century stopped, because in the 16th century, you're talking the 1500s, and this map is from the 1500s. So you're talking about King Henry VII, what he would be rocking with is and where Japan is. When you talk Mexico, China, this is why we been digging on it. When we talk India Superior, this is what we've been digging on. That Cathay is China. This is why they got La China right here. Mexico, so where would be Kapangu? Kapangu would be right in here. Or actually, with Florida, Kapangu would be tucked right in here, right by Mexico. That would be the real Japan. man, we cracking the code. Capongo's tucked right on the other side of Florida, right? Because here's Florida. Here is the Great Strait, the which leads us to Cathay, right? And where's Cathay? Boom, Cathay. So they had to cross through this Great Strait to get to Cathay, to get to Ebola, Calais, loose, to get to Cathay, the Cara Katai, to find the land of the Prester, India Superior. And when they did find the Prester, they found you. When they found the indigenous population of the Americas and the accompanying reduction in cultivated lands during the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries, may have contributed to the global cooling effect. So because of the first contact, because of this severe reduction in indigenous population right here, they're saying it may have contributed to what's called the Little Ice Age. And I'm saying this Little Ice Age could be the reason why on this map and the Paris map and many other maps, there's no cap on Antarctica. There's no ice cap. There's no ice. It's Terra Fuego. How did it become icy Antarctica? Did it all just happen in the 1500s? Did it all happen, my noggin? Right? When they came here, you know what they found? They found a climate colder than Europe because they brought the cold with them. They brought the plague with them. They brought the disease with them. Little Ice Age, a period of regional cooling, right? America was the coldest it had been in over 1,000 years, man. They brought extreme cold here. And they're saying it's because of the severe reduction, the severe death in who? In us, the copper-colored cons that they massacred, right? So many. It caused an ice age, not a little one, an ice age that occurred after the medieval warm period. Okay. So after 1250, what happened then? That's when Genghis Khan first rode up on the Prester, right? 1202, huh? It was not a true ice age of global extent, so it was specific to America. This is an American and surrounding area ice age, but specifically America. Extending from 16th to 19th centuries. Wow. And some prefer an alternate time span from 1300 to the 1850s. So whether they push it forward or backwards, it's still happening. Like, it's all happening. I just want to get, when they go right into North America. Early European explorers and settlers in North America reported exceptionally severe winters. For example, according to Samuel Champlain reported bearing ice along the shores of Lake Superior. In 1608, both Europeans and indigenous people suffered excessive mortality in Maine. During the year 1607 to 1608, an extreme frost was meanwhile reported in Jamestown, Virginia settlement. Native Americans formed leagues in response to food shortages. The Journal of Pierre de Torres, Xavier de Troyes, who led an expedition to James Bay in 1686, recorded that the bay was still littered with so much floating ice that he could hide behind it in his canoe. On the 1st of July, in the winter of 1780, New York Harbor froze, which allowed people to walk from Manhattan Island to Staten Island. Here's depictions, from the 1400s. Because the Little Ice Age took place during the European colonization of the Americas, it threw off a lot of the early colonizers. So this was specifically taking place at the time that you were found here, Copper Color Khan, by the Europeans. Khan? Khan? Okay. We're just talking about the Ice Age in America. They thought they was coming, to something, a lot different. They said there was colder winters than in Europe, which led to the collapse of many early European settlements. So I think Mama was upset. I think Mama was fighting for you. She wasn't making it easy on these hijacks. When colonizers settled at Jamestown, historians agree it was one of the coldest time periods in the last 1,000 years. Dozens of other theories for North America being so much colder than Europe, but the observations and hypotheses allow much to be known on the Little Ice Age effects in North America. So they say many other people living in North America had their own theories for the weather being so poor. But we already see clearly. They already kind of gave us the drop. Because the Little Ice Age took place during the European colonization of the Americas. So many Nagas got massacred. Severe reduction of the indigenous Nagas that normally, are connected with Ahab, connected with our environment. We were reduced in such a severe fashion that connection was severed, and it caused an ice age. And did that affect the surrounding areas, especially when you see that Antarctica ain't that far from the Americas, right? Terra del Fuego used to be Fuego, huh? You could hop skip from South America to Antarctica, huh? Bang, bang. And over here, it almost seems like, they're calling Antarctica South America the way it's positioned here, man. It's really interesting, man. When did there become Antarctica? And where is Cathay? All we know is that we got a fire dragon popping off. This North America. Now, when you look at this Asia to the left of where North America would be, right? Florida, you have what? Ganges, right? Ganges. And I've been looking at it, man. I've been, kind of ignoring it, man. I knew it had something big to it. I just wasn't ready for it yet. But then I started looking again at this Ganges, man, and I said, this rings a bell. Like, this is India Superior. Let's put this together. We're on an investigation. This is India Superior, what they call India Major, right? Which means that all the major things that's happening in the Hindu flow and all this stuff is really originally found here, and they reflected and duplicated that into their own mythology, into their own antiquity. Same thing as the Chinese today, Japanese today, because we know where China and Japan really are, my not. Japan's right in between Florida and Mexico, huh? Which some call Japan. China's right here, above Mexico. Mexico's basically all China and cat thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Just saying. So Ganges, whatever story or mythology behind the Ganges is connected with India's superior or Cibola or Kalalus. So what are they talking about this Ganges for? Was interesting, right? Because Ganja, the holy river, has utmost importance among all the rivers in India. The water has been called as water of immortality. Where's Ganja? Where's the river Ganges? It's in Asia. Right, right, right. Yeah, Dead Rosselli, 1508 tells you the same thing. South America, Florida, India superior, Managa. Canada, India superior, Managa. So the Ganges is over here near Kalalus. Near Kalalus? Because Florida is way over here. Near Cavera? Looks like it's over there near Cavera, Managa. Near the Cavera Regnum. Or the Keyber or Heber. Iberia. Iberia, right? And the Anna. So what's up with this Ganges? I mean, just getting a quick look at it. Now, is it one of the rivers, the four holy rivers, you know what I'm saying? Going through Eden. I mean, I'm just looking at it from a separate source outside of the Bible, but in their Hindu flow, which I believe they're duplicating real biblical history, but even biblical history has been put in such a way that we don't see it clearly until we start looking into the Prester John investigation. You know what I'm saying? Now we can look into the Raja Cholas, the Pandyans, India Superior, Cibola, Shambhala, Seven Go, all this connected to the San Banyan, all these rivers. I mean, where does the San Banyan have to flow in all this? That's, a borderline. It's like a borderline between the exiled tribes, 10 lost tribes, or whatever tribes are exiled beyond the San Banyan. They call them the Red Jews, or the Ruddy Jews, or the Copper Colored Khans. Red Ruddy, because Ruddy is all we're talking about. Let's go. So this Ganges connects with the water of immortality. Man, we back to the fountain, man. What does this got to do with the fountain of youth, with the Holy Grail? Due to its extraordinary quality, Hindu believe that the Ganja water has healing power. It removes skin diseases and elongates life. Okay, I mean, I just want to let you know that something real holy is going on around this Ganges. They also call the Ganges the Kanka. You know, does it fit into any of this Pishon, Gahan, Tigris, Euphrates? Is the Gahan just the Jahan or the Jahan or the Prester John River? What would that have to do with the Kanka? Yeah. Ooh. What y'all doing over here? They're connecting some things with the Pishon and the Ganges. Oh, come on, man. It's getting too good. Wasn't expecting this. What are we talking about? Biblical River Pishon, the India Connect, in his book, The Antiquity of the Jews, Roman Jewish scholar Flavius Josephus, in his description of the four rivers of the Bible, the Pishon, Gihon, and the Tigris and the Euphrates, stated that the unidentified river Pishon was either the Indus River or the Ganges, while the Gihon was the Nile. Body bag. Ooh, they over here slipping on they pepe. Catching them slipping in Prester John number 80. We gonna do this for my ladies. We gonna talk high Amazon queens because we just still talking Kanka. Now they say in their mythology is named after this goddess Ganja or Kanka and all this stuff. But Managa could have anything to do, you know what I'm saying, with, you know, the original Hebrew Israelite lady dragons on the wall and how they deified our queens like Sheba turned to Shiva and all this stuff. You know, deified our kings like Joshua, you know what I'm saying, turns into their, you know, or Quetzalcoatl and all these flows are our original oregano flow. And this Ganges we just got on the belly fly. For real, belly fly. That according to Flavius Josephus, the Ganges is Pishon, the Pashon. And we just got before that it's connected with this healing power. Maybe because it's connected with the garden, the water, the springs. A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden. And the beautiful thing about seeking Hawa and Khan David is that David always, that this investigation always leads us back to the water, man. Back to the Ganges, back to the Pishon, the rivers of Eden, my nigga. Right here in Kalaluz, right by Cathay. But where's Cathay? Huh? All of this is Cathay. All of America is Cathay. We're talking about Florida, right? Ain't they looking for the fountain of youth in Florida? It's all Cathay. It's all happening. It's all Cathay. Ganges. I mean, Daniel Lowe letting us know. This article tells of Kalalus meaning promised land. Then we pick up in the 8th century with this family war that's popping off with these, you know, Davidic princes of these Makirs and Theodoruses for this Kalalus that they keep calling Roman land. And we keep having to tell you, but every time they're talking Roman, Anaga, we say Hebrew word of the day. They just mean Ramah. So don't think Rome ain't where you think it is. Not the real Ramah, right? The real Ramah refers to the pomegranate. Ramah, the Hebrew for pomegranate, which Joshua and Caleb had to get to prove that they were in the promised land. So when we hear Ramah, This is where we're getting in forbidden histories every time they say Roma. These Roman lands are the Rimmon lands. The pomegranate lands are the promised land lands. Is the Cathay, which means what? Pure land. Where's Cathay? China, my naga. You're in it, my naga. You are in it, man. Because they just found us here, right? We're going to talk about this copper. I'm just surfing away. Hey, this is the Prester Hour. A Lego. Let go. This ain't no play. This ain't no play. You know, I'm gonna take my time with all these, man. You can go ahead of me. Recon what this Bacalar is and this Para is, like Paris is. The Mansi. Man, but the Ganges is the Pashan. The Genesis further states in verse 2, or chapter 2, verse 2:11. The name of its first is Pashan, the one that winds through the whole land of Hivala, or Hawa. You put the V's where the W's supposed to be. Change one letter, one vowel. Now you're in Hava. When you're in Hawa, where the gold is, right? Cities of gold. Did we just say all this connection with this TUSAYAN and this gold, cities of gold, and the land of the gold? Man. So, if the Ganges is way over here across America, right? Where Kalalus would be, Cibola, all this stuff will be popping off. Where this TUSAYAN will be popping off. That discontinued his name because they hiding something. And we get in a separate source that is containing the 7 cities, which we know they're talking cities of gold because we on that investigation. And we digging on it. Another separate source in this Forbidden Histories of America with the Cibola 7 cities, and they got Cibola on the map. They got this Lake Kapala situation. Once they said it was changed, like, you know, they're comparing what it looked like more recent. Or actually in this particular Google Earth look, and they think they found this Lake Kapala. It has something to do with these cities, my naga. The Granada 7 cities of Cibola, right? We just got these 7 cities, right? So they over there in TUSAYAN, which was reported to contain the 7 cities to bar across the airplanes, which separated Cibola from TUSAYAN. So Cibola and TUSAYAN seem to be rocking side by side. And if Cibola means promised land, what do you think Zion is? Validation all the way up, my naga. We definitely are closing in on something very special. Connected all the way to that Zion National Park as well, I'm sure. So all these national parks, all this hijack, over damn near 2 million acres right here into Zion. They changed it to Khabib or Kebab, but it's to Zion. We're talking about 7 cities. Granada, like pomegranate, like pomegranate, right? Pomegranate becomes pomegranata, becomes granata, but pomegranate is only referring to the Hebrew word of the day, Ramah. Because Ramah is Hebrew for pomegranate, which becomes granata. The Ramah becomes the Roma. And we're breaking it all the way down. Allah, why? 7 cities of Cibola. Okay. I mean, they got 7 cities on the map. And sept does mean 7. We're talking Kalelus or America. Proof on Google Earth. Utah. Talking Zion. Granada. Pomegranata. And look how Cibola is spelled. Cevola. Cevola. Cibola means what? Promised land. Septa, 7 cities. Again, it's always these 7 cities like this. And just looking at that Cities Go cartoon, when they were fighting against the Olmec, Estebanico was fighting against the Olmec, and they went to this island, and they said that's where the Cities of Gold are. And he said, really, on that little island? This kind of reminds me of this, It kind of reminds me of that. Again, Cibola. Septum, right? Cibola, they lose, which means what? Promised land. Yeah, this is a guarded secret, man. It's a guarded secret popping off here, man. Talking Native American legends, man. Cibola, 7 cities. Separates, these arid plains separate Cibola from TUSAYAN. And TUSAYAN, the town, not just the town that they call the door to the Grand Canyon. I'm talking the 1,830,487 acres, man. And what's this got to do with the Ganges? What's the Ganges got to do with the Kanka? What's the Ganges got to do with the Pishan? Kush, Ashur. It's getting real biblical, real fast. We're talking Josephus, talking Genesis. And look how they spell John now. G-on, right? Love to the Templar. Jihan is also John. So, man, we got the John River popping off, man. And the Ganja. Yeah, they got all kinds of stories around this Ganja. All right. I'm just making some quick connections. I'm leaving these links, coming back to it. Okay, cool. Oh, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hi, Amazon Queens. Hi, Amazon Queen. Dragon Queens. Ladies on the wall. Lady dragons, right? Royal Amazon Queens. Jewish clan among Indian tribes. We're talking Chickasaw. We're talking Cherokee, Managa. What? Who's connected the Cherokee with these Amazon queens, these queens of Kalelus? Yeah, Kalelus or Cibola, Kalelus. Hey, all praise to Allah. That's all we could say as we pop off. Prester John 80, that it's like butter, baby. It's like butter. because just like they called that ganja. Let's see if we go back here right quick. I'm on. I'm having a good time popping off with my nuggets in real time, man. Belly flopping. We belly flopping to the Pashan in real time. We couldn't get this, man, just by looking at Wiki. Now, there's a whole nother separate source just to show you that this ain't play when it comes to linguistics, right? Chinese, right? Where's China? So how is this possible if this is not all the same place, right? Now we're talking Chinese, right? I'm saying, how is it possible if it's not all the same place? If this ain't China, this is also India. And this is going to prove it right here that we're in India Major, Superior, which is also China or Cathay. Let's go. That when you look in this Chinese script, etymology, Japanese, Chinese, all that, it's all over here. That they have ganje, right? Ganji, it's ganje. Also pronounced kanka or kanko, which means the weapons of war, arms. The kanka also means a shield, pole arm or spear, protection, kwa. So the ganja is the kanka, is the kwa. Shields and spears, man. Love to my bro Judah the Great Jedi. Talking about that shield and they can shield and sword, or shield and spear technique, man. I mean, it's all happened. We're talking about weaponry, military force. So this, the ganja is more than just, a river, or it's a whole conflow. It's a whole conflow, and you see it brought up separately, within the language of the Chinese and Japanese etymology, which would make perfect sense, knowing that Japan is right between Florida and Mexico. But remember, we're just talking Asia, and that's why this Ganges or Kanka is popping off right here. Great link right here. Love to Aaron Bengold.blogspot.com. ARONBENGILAD.blogspot.com. You got all the links. Judeo-Roman, Amazon. So we got Judah, Romani, right? We got Pomegranate, Promised Land, Amazon, David, Queens of Kadodu and Kalelus. Yeah. High Amazon Queens. In North America, there was a kingdom or empire which was west of the kingdom of Alleghania and Appalachia, and the principality of Galachia, but east of the Kalelus kingdoms. Promised land, let's go. This was the Davidic Amazon queendom of Dodu or Kadodu, whose queen and her elite Hebrew, we're talking Hebrew, not Jewish. So we got elite Hebrew Aquas, right? My Aqua Nagas popping off. ruled over different tribes in the areas of Arkansas, Mississippi, Lady Dragons on the Wall, surrounding areas. The Cherokee people today descended from this Judeo-Roman Amazon. So this would make no sense unless we understood what a Remon is, right? Hebrew, Remon, Rimon, Hebrew for pomegranate. Also, nay, because we are talking conquer, we are talking war, right? Weapons of war, shield, spear. So it's protection, and it's also your promised land, your Remon. So they took the title and they're claiming your promised land by taking your title, like they claim you by taking your names. So we got to get them out of a hijack. Not all Roman emperors or empires are the same, especially when they're duplicating out the Remani, Hebrew, Israelite, Khan, dynasty. And I'm just talking about lady dragons on the wall. The queens and ruling Hebrew elite practice their own form of Judaism or Hebrew, Khan priesthood, while the other tribes in their empire or queendom remain pagan. So what do they mean, right? So some were in gold and some remain pagan is what they're trying to say. This queen ruled over a number of Amazon duchies, and that's the same thing with the Prester kingdom. He still ruled over all the hijacks too, even though they were pagan. They still had to pay him tribute. The duchess of the Gentile or pagan clans were known as Gigwa, the war woman, over 4 distinct tribal groups: maternal A, B, C, D, mitochondrial DNA. And of course, that's where they go left, is that they're just focusing on this DNA, mitochondrial. They're not following the C. But it leads us to some interesting conclusions. Interesting babies in his bathwater. The term Adagayuda, Yuda, for beloved woman by the Cherokees today was originally a title of the queen and originally was Gavera Hadoda Yuda, or Jedi, the beloved queen mother of the Hebrews, the queen mama, big mama, the Hebrew duchess of mitochondrial DNA TXJU, H, and I. Mitochondrial DNA were known as Isha Hadada Yudi, beloved woman of the Hebrew. The royal clan of Hebrew women belong to TMT DNA maternal clans. The haplogroups have become more mixed over the centuries. The queen, or Dode, was selected from among the daughters of the previous queen by the queen herself or by the council of the duchess. Sound like that Amazon flow, that Wonder Woman flow, right? And then they have in the book of Prester John, I believe that's in Prester John Legend and Sources, Love the Aqua Type Battle. It's in the Drop Library as well. But, that they would come, I think, 4 times a year with, with the men, you know what I'm saying? So 4 times a year, they'll meet up with their mates, you know what I'm saying? And they'll, do their thing. And then babies, with the women with some, or the daughters would, I think, go with, I think the fathers at first and then go to the mothers. They had this type of flow, you know what I mean? So you had this Prester, the Sheba Solomon flow, you know what I'm saying? And she would be one of these queen mamas, right? Okay. The original Choctaw had a mainly maternal A DNA haplogroup. The Chickasaw were mainly B maternal DNA. The original Muskogee were a D mitochondrial DNA or origin. There was a group among the Cherokee we call the pagan Cherokee, which were mainly the C. So they got pagan Cherokee under the C mitochondrial DNA. The X mitochondrial DNA clan is the oldest Hebrew clan among the Indian tribes. So this X is marking the spot, right? This clan, where X marks the spot, is the oldest Hebrew clan among the Indian tribes. It would seem that a branch of the royal Amazon queens of T2 mitochondrial DNA moved back to Europe and intermarried with the noble and royal houses. We already went through this. You know what Europe looked like. It was all swarthy. So this is all family. This is all, family, interconnected. It's all happening. It's all connected. T mitochondrial DNA descends from Nehushta. Whoa. The mother of Judah. Now this reminds you of the Nehushtan, right? This what they call the serpent, the brazen serpent, which we connected is the copper dragon that gave you life in Numbers 21. Yeah, the copper dragon gave you life, right? And there's actually a Nehushta, who's the queen mother of Judah. Okay. So when it's Nehushtan later, when the Israelites went off, they started, worshiping and deifying, all kind of false gods. They were false because they weren't the true living power. You know what I'm saying? Whether they were dragons or whether they were queen mothers, like baking cakes to the queen mother of heaven and all that. Worship of Sheba, they're worshiping Sheba, they're worshiping everything, right? So, this is when we went, into the dark ages, my naga, for real. So, but Nehushta, it was the Jewish Cherokee clan that had the diverse material lineages. All right, all right, all right. Man, this gets good, right? Man. Oh man. Okay. I'm just gonna focus on this Nehushta for now, and then I'm gonna keep this link up because I see them going to some interesting places. Because you got the Nehushta, right? Hebrew. They call it a brass object. It's the serpent of brass made by Moshe. We're talking Prester. Moshe would also be a Prester, John, priest king. Right? He's the king of Cush for 40 years in the book of Jashar. King of Cush for 40 years. Gets an honorable discharge, gets thrown into the dungeon for 10 years by Jethro or Retuel, then comes out with his scepter, pulls the scepter out the ground, like King Arthur, and saves Israel. Saves the children of Israel, right? Hamashiach, right? So this Hamashiach makes not a serpent of brass, but a dragon of copper. A living copper dragon, not a thing you put on a pole, but maybe you told that copper dragon sit up there on that big pole, and whoever we feeling is gonna get that life. You're gonna give it that bite. Now that bite, when you looked up, etymology on that bite, it also comes out to stinging, and that stinging would also refer to fiery dragon, and it's popping off, man. It's popping off. So this dragon here, this copper dragon, was there in Numbers 21 to cure the Israelites of the venomous bites of the fiery serpents or of the dragon fire they were getting from the fiery dragons that Hawa had cursed them with because they was out of cold. So they got cursed with these dragons, and then came the cure, another dragon, a copper dragon. Whoever it breathed on gave him life. The word Nehushta, right? Thing of brass. Thing of brass. So this queen mother, her name is Nehushta. Just put an N at the end, you got the same word, Nehushta, right? This dragon queen, I mean, just like you got Khaleesi in Game of Thrones, this will be like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mother of dragons, that type of thing. Yeah, man. We just found her in real time. So we're talking about the royal Amazon queens. The queen mamas of Judah, my nigga. We still talking Judah, Khan. Which people just talking Dawid. But it's interesting in this link how they rock with the Dawid flow. And that just to prove it's a title. Oh man. They even rock the Davida. So whether it's David or Davida, it's still a title, whether you're talking male or female. She married Solomon Sylvanus. Uh-oh. The Judeo-Roman king. The Judah Remani, pomegranate promised land, king of the promised land. So this Sylvanus title, we've seen this in Forbidden Histories of America. I'm just showing you these titles right quick. So this Davida, this David, it's all happening. Another Davida, right? Queen of Kododu, Lady Davida of Avalon, David's, right? She was the first Davidic Judeo Roman Romani, right? Pomegranate, Amazon, warrior woman of Kadadu Queendom in the area of pre-Columbian Arkansas, Mississippi, and the surrounding areas. Daughter of Gilead, Ben Joseph, Managa, these are Hebrews in America. Fisher King of Avalon. All the stories are written about you, King Arthur. Camelot is Kalalus. They turned Kalalus into Camelot. King Arthur is King David. But this David is a title. And even she's a Davidic Amazon warrior queen. It's all happening. Nehushta, God, okay. It means a thing of brass. Contains a Hebrew pun. Okay, what's the pun? The first three letters, NCHSH, mean serpent. And the final two, THN, mean dragon. Ping, pow. So the pun is that the serpent is the dragon. But not the alchemical serpent, because that's something completely different. That's the impersonal nature. We're talking about the unknown, the mysterious. We're talking about the dragon. We're very up close and personal with our dragon. That's our flow. That's our fire, our water, our ether, connecting us to our land. That is our land. This Nehushta is the dragon, right? This is all we're talking about. We're talking about a brass or we're talking copper. Because last time that I checked, in the Strong's Hebrew Lexicon, H5174, this Nekosh is referring, it's supposed to be referring to bronze, is copper, or brass. So when they're talking brass, Managa, we got the drop in the lexicon that they're only talking copper. There was no brass alloy metals back then. It's copper. Man, just do the drop. Do the drop. So when they say serpent of brass, we catch them slipping, and we say, no, you're talking copper. Con. You're talking copper. Copper, bronze, right? Copper. So when they say bronze or brazen serpent, when they say brass, they're only talking copper. Huh? In your face, ball. What trickery? What trickery? We're just talking copper. What trickery, man? That this Nehushta is a serpent? No, because it's a Hebrew pun, remember? It's a joke. The joke's on you. Serpent, dragon. So you're talking about a copper dragon that Moses made in Numbers 21 that gave the cure to the Israelites. It wasn't a negative thing. It wasn't a demonic thing. It was worshipped later by out-of-code Nagas. It was worshipped later, or she was worshipped later. Nehushta. And is she the copper queen, the copper color queen. I told you we'd get back on this copper. Because we just popping off. Told you we'd get back on this copper. Why does it matter? Why does it matter, drop? Because it's everywhere. And you got to see clearly, Nehushta connects directly with the copper queen, the dragon copper queen of Judah, the Davids, right? Male and female Davids, right? Copper. Okay. Nehushta. Knowing that you are the image, that we talk American or the copper color con, right? And just seeing how they're connected. They're showing us that it's all planned right here in America. They're connecting the Caddo and the Choctaw and the Chickasaw. Check this out right here. We're talking the Kalalu's kingdoms, right? We just went through this. Promised land. This was the Davidic Amazon kingdom of Dodu, Kadodu, whose queen and her elite Hebrew Aquas ruled over different tribes in the areas of Arkansas, Mississippi, and the surrounding areas. We're talking America. The Cherokee people today descend from this Judeo-Redmon Amazon elite ruling group, as well as some of the pagan American Indians, while other groups such as Caddo, Choctaw, and Chickasaw were under the Queen's rule and authority. So the Cherokee people today, or we're just talking about, you know what I'm saying, the Kara key, right? The real Kara. Because when you break this Cherokee, you break this Kara back to the Kara Kata, right? The Kara Key, the Kara Ka. People today descend from this Judah ruling group, right, of Judah, as well as some of the pagan American Indians, like the Edomites, is what they're saying right here. So they're even telling you here that even the Edomites are indigenous to America, right? Because that's the twin of Jacob, Ka, right? Whether we're talking Caddo or Chickasaw, or we're just talking Esau or Edom, right? Esau or Edom, right? As well as some of the pagan American Indians. So they would call them pagan because they're outside the house of Israel, you know, likely outside the code that David is, you know what I'm saying, spreading outside the Prester flow, you know, that is being promised to this particular house of Israel. And outside of that are what they would call the Gentile or the pagan clans. Now, Gentiles not talking about white people. Gentiles talking about copper colored people that are outside of the house of Israel. The original Gentiles are also melanated copper colored people. So outside of that, you have something else. But the actual Gentiles are just outside the house of Israel, but they're still copper colored, man. Let's go. So the image is interesting and it's very important when it comes to who you are. Genesis 1:26. We got this before. Let's get it again. And Hawa said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over every creeping thing creeps upon the earth." And Hawa created man in his own image. In the image of Hawa created he him, male and female created he them. So you say, how's a male and a female created from the same image of him? Unless we're just talking us. Age old debate, age old, lots of theories around this us. We're talking the angels, we're talking the, angels, dragons on the wall. Who's the us that these images of man are being made? God created man in his own image, male and female. So you must have a female image to create a female image, and a male image to create a male image. Ha-wa, framer, shaper. This is when you tie in, this biblical translation with the indigenous truth, Managa, with the Popol Vuh. Back to the framer, shaper. You have to connect and see what they've removed in Christianity. Remove wisdom, right? Remove mama, right? Mama say you find me, you find life. But she's not included in the image. Let us. Who's us? Who's our? Maybe we'll get some help out this Popol Vuh. Page 48. This is the sacred text of the Mayan, the Quiche, the root language, the tribes. And they have their own origin Genesis story. It begins with, this is the beginning of the ancient traditions of this place called Quiche, or Quiche, which means the root. Here we shall write, we shall begin to tell the ancient stories of the beginning. The origin of all that was done in the citadel of Quiche among the people of the Quiche nation. The Quiche word, she, root, is used here to describe the beginning or foundations of the author's words concerning the history of the Quiche people. Let's get it here. Here we shall gather the manifestations, the declarations, the accounting of the sowing and the dawning by the framer and the shaper. How does this connect to the Bible, you say, right? Drop, you just going to bring this on in, or is there a connection directly with this and the Bible? The framer and the shaper, right? She who has born children. Okay. He who has begotten sons, as they are called, Hanapu, possum, coyote, Hanapu, coyote, great white Bakari, coyote, sovereign, Quetzal, dragon. We just broke that down. So we thought the dragon, right? Heart of lake, heart of sea, creator of the green earth. Ama, right? Creator of the blue sky. Abba. Remember he says, with my right hand I beat it out. I met it out the firmament. I beat out Rakia. I beat it out. He beat out the firmament, beat out the blue sky. Heart of lake, heart of sea. So we're dealing with a framer and a shaper. In the fine print again, it says, framer, tazakol, refers to one who makes something by putting things together. A building from stone or adobe, a meal from various ingredients, or a woven cloth from individual threads. Mama, wisdom, gives you the intelligence to put things together. That's your framer. That's your That's your breath. That's your revelation. With that revelation, you can put things together, right? In the Hebrew, right, it says to reveal. After you walk through that door, remember Proverbs 8 says she's crying out aloud at the entrance, the door. Not a man with the arms, but your mama gives you the look, the breath, right? The revelation. This is all we talking about, my naga. Put it together with a naga. Put it together with a naga. Papu Fa, you're putting things together. Framer. And your daddy, your shaper, your father, Bitol, refers to one who makes something by modeling, pottery from clay, sculpture from carved stone. What shapes you, my naga? The frequency shapes you. The code shapes you. That's your Abba. The frequency you're flowing in, is your creator, is your father. Your mama is who gives you the wisdom to put everything together. The various ingredients into a meal, my naga. A beautiful cloth from individual threads, my naga. You can now sefer the dots. The framer and shaper are the most frequently mentioned gods or powers involved in creation of the world, according to the Mayan Kishe. So when they came over here and they studied it, the most frequently mentioned powers involved in creation in the world and its inhabitants is the framer and the shaper. Now they call it God, right? Or Lord, right? But this is why you have this interesting pluralness of, and God said, let us make man in our image. Framer refers to one who makes something by putting things together. Our image. Wisdom says she's the beginning of his way. They rock together from the beginning, framer and shaper. Proverbs chapter 8, read it. We're going to get Proverbs chapter 4 as Solomon is praying to his Abba for more of that framer, for more wisdom to put his kingdom together. The framer and the shaper are the most frequently mentioned powers right here in the Americas for the creation of the entire world. Their names imply that the creation involved giving frame and shape to matter that already existed, rather than conjuring something out of nothing. This pair of powers was so important that soon after this, here we go with the first contact, Spanish conquest, here comes the Ice Age, here comes the cap on Antarctica's chest bone. Soon after the Spanish conquest, Father Domenico de Vico used their root names, Quiche names, to refer to the power of the Old Testament alone, my naga. Not Old and New. It was specifically used to refer to the Tanakh. So when you got to the New, they're not talking framer shaper no more. But even their Catholic father during Spanish conquest was smart enough to connect the most frequently mentioned power and knew that this was the power of the Tanakh, which means that these are the Israelites. This was their power. And he used their root names to refer to the power of the Old Testament. How does it relate to the Bible, Drop? The frame and the shape have everything to do with the Bible, but specifically with the Old Testament, which lets us know that there's a different God in the New Testament. Here comes Zeus, here comes Jesus, here comes Jesus. But that's not anything to do with your framer and shaper. That's why you don't see thus says Hawa over there. Ha-wa, framer, shaper, right in your picto-paleo. Strong power goes into the family. Your house starts to gather, walk, move to an entrance, a doll, a door. You get your mama with the ha, with the breath. Framer, your father with the added security. You're hooked, you're anchored, you're foundational. You got a foundational breath, a secure revelation, and an added look. And it's the ha vav. They turn it to modern. Hey vav is originally the wah. W-A-W becomes V-A-V, man. Hijack City. So as soon as you get to your door, your entrance, mama says, I'm screaming out at the entrance. I'm screaming out. I'm giving you that breath because you don't walk through the door. You gathered. You got the strong power in your house. You walk through that door, you get the revelation, the breath. You start putting things together, framer, shaper style. You get the revelation. You start putting together these various ingredients, my nigga. And your shaper does what? Gives shapes to an otherwise amorphous substance. I molded you. I'm shaping you in what? Frequency. I'm giving you that wah, that security is your frequency. It's what hooks you. It's what secures you. Your shaper, your father, your frequency. Solomon's praying to that security to give him more revelation, more breath, more look for his kingdom. Because the kingdom can't be fortified without a revelation and without that breath from mama. Hawa, framer, shaper, my nigga. The framer and the shaper. He used their cliche names to refer to the power of the Tanakh, my nigga. Hawa is right there in our face bone. In Exodus 3, Moses says, what should I call you? What does Hawa say? As we popping off in real time. Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me. I am is what? Love to the bro Lex, man, forever for this drop. Because it just leads us directly. I am. They say Aya. Nah, they got it from Aya, right? Or Ha. Why they put the W in there? They did it for a reason. Ha-wah. Yeah. Primitive root to exist, my nigga. So what's he saying? I exist. Existence. I exist. Tell him I exist. Call me existence. Accomplishment. All together. Yeah. I fell out with you. Yeah. That happened. It's all happening. But guess what? We lasted, we've pertained. Anaga, I require what? For you to keep the code. Hawa, to be. They say to fall out, come to pass, become to be. I am. Hawa to fall out, and it's come to pass that we are. I am. So they got the Aya. So I'm just saying, when you're looking at it in the script and you're hearing Lord, God, Lord, and they're coming right off this Strong's 1961, going directly back to the existence, right? Well, they go to Haya, because as we know, Hawa, the creator, a highly prominent name is that of Hawa. It was the most ancient name for the creator. It was the most ancient name for the creator. So how did it get off this ancient name? How did we forget as time flowed? Hold up. It says, easily identified from Hebrew verb. This is what we just got from the Haya, right? To form. to mold. Whoa, they got real specific. To form, to mold. That sounds a lot like the Papuva. Huh? You see how this is all correlated? Because they're just talking about the God of the Old Testament, right? To form, to mold, to shape, molding, right? Mold, modeling, pottery from clay, giving shape to an otherwise amorphous substance. The frame and the shape are the most frequently mentioned powers because they're referring to the power of the Tanakh, which includes your mama, which includes wisdom that they call her. But we're just talking about Big Mama popping off. And this is when they say, let us make man in our image. And this is how you're getting male and female. He created them. No, they, us, our. We're talking framer, shaper as one, like a marriage, a union. Framer, shaper. Domenico de Vico used their root names to refer to the power of the Tanakh right in our face bone. Hawa right in our face bone. Before you get to the seventh letter, which is your food, which is your cutoff, which is your nourishment. Hey, I'm just popping off, you know what I'm saying? And daddy daycare, food, cutoff, nourishment. We're just talking nourishment, man. All right, all right. Daddy daycare is popping off at all times. Man, so you get through this door, this entrance, and you get Big Mama, Hawa, and you get your frame and shaper flow. And the frame and shaper flow is the original flow. When you're talking Tanakh and when you're talking Indigenous American, most frequently mentioned power involved in the creation of the world and its inhabitants. The power of the Tanakh. Why would they separate this, right? Unless the other one ain't Hawa, right? Unless the one in the New Test ain't Hawa. God, this is when you got to separate it because they've already made a distinction. They've already made a separation, is all we say. And by the time you do that, you see it right there in your face. Hawa. And this is the same primitive verb that they're using for heya. To be, to become, to exist, right? This existence. This existence is what Moshe is telling. As Moshe asks, what should I call you? Hawa said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. I am is Hawa, what they called Heya or Eye. God, I am who I am. But his name specifically, when they say I am, has sent me. I am, one time. I am has sent me. I am has sent me. To you, I am is Aya or Heya is. We just talking existence. To exist. To be. To become. To exist. The most highly prominent name is that of Hawa. It was the most ancient name for the Creator. As time flowed on and the world fell apart, different people developed different names for the Father God, for the Creator, King of the gods, and for other superhuman personalities. The myths show common patterns, but the stories and relationship among the gods varied from place to place. The tribes remembered the same general arrangement, but estrangement led to different details, oral deterioration, later literary embellishments, right? Eroded a solid core of social memory. Well, because they separated the power of the old and made a new power for you, for the Christians, right? You're not worshiping the Creator. You're not worshiping the power of the Tanakh. You're not worshiping the framer, shaper, laws of Moses power. Nah, you're worshiping something else. That's not the God of the Old Testament, man. We're over here talking wah. We're over here talking wah. Breath security. A secure breath leads to what? Existence, to exist. You have a breath of security. You have a secure breath. And that heya comes from what? Because they done switched even the heya to a Yahweh now. But that's only from 1869. Hypothetical reconstruction, we're talking Jehovah, based on the assumption of the Tetragrammaton is the imperfective of the Hebrew verb hawa, which is the earlier form of heya. Was, in a sense, the one who is the existing. Same thing. So the same primitive Hebrew verb that they turn into heya, right, was originally what? Earlier form is what? Hawa. And this is why this link is so important, because it's breaking down the most ancient name. The most ancient name. Hawa. Yeah. You got Hawaiian all over the place, right? Over here, over there, you got the kebab, El Hawa. It's one of the most ancient excavated sites in Israel, El Hawa, God creator. It's the key to a host of linguistic forms, while El, a common Semitic word for God, is well remembered in the Bible. Hawa, the ancient name. I'm not the ancient name, because, we're talking who was Prester John, and you can't understand that without understanding the ancient name for the Creator. It's not remembered. They said they were given a new name, right? Why would an ancient name have to be given a new name? When the Israelites were given Yahweh, here we go, hijack city, during Exodus, the new name. So no more Hawa, Yahweh, that's the new name. Hawa's name is Hawa's name. The most ancient name is the most ancient name. You don't need a new name. You forgot the old name. They learned to forget the old Hawa. They no longer remembered Hawa. Yeah, you got Halawa, Jordan, Halawa, Halawa, Bell Mountains of Sudan. Alava is Alawa, Hawa. Al-Hawa is Alava. Hawa is everywhere. Okinawa, Mongolia. There's a Hawa, Mongolia. Wow. Because we just talking to Mongols. That's crazy, right? It's crazy talk, drop. Because great equals Mongolian. And the Moguls or Mongols are the great ones. Hawa, Hawa. We just talking Prester John. Yeah. Right back to it. Right back to it. Love this drop, man. Love this drop. Connects us with all these place names that connect directly with Hawa, whether you spell it H-U-A, H-A-W-E-A, A-W-A, H-U-A-H-O, Finland, Solomon Islands, Hawaiian, Hawaii, Hawu, Mongolia. And it goes on and on. Guatemala, Nicaragua. You got the key Hawa. You got the Hawa Joapin, like Japan, Hawa Mandal, Huaquecula, ancient Mexican language, pronounced Hawa. So even H-U-E is Hawa. You got the Wa flow. Tibet, Kenya, China, Ghana, Utah, Pakistan, Australia, India, Hawaiian Islands, New Zealand, Managa. Hawaii is everywhere. Everywhere. In these place names. Everywhere. Scotland, everywhere. Arkansas. So even the OUA, man, look how much they flipped it. You're just talking about the phonetic sound of Hawaii. Because Hawaii is the highly prominent name. It is the most ancient name for the Creator. Yeah. King David of Israel is equated to the great Khan, and this one to Prester John of the Indies. The great Khan is also equated to the Grand Khan, yeah. And the Grand Khan, yeah, man, has another connection to it of almost 2 million acres more with this TUSAYAN National Forest. The same TUSAYAN that is, for whatever reason, sponsored by Laura Spelman Rockefeller. Abolitionist, I'll bet. I'll bet. Wife of John David Rockefeller. Okay. What would this Rockefeller have to do with this 2 million acres in Zion, to Zion? What would these Rockefellers be having to do with this Zion connection with the 7 cities of Cibola, Cibola, Cibola? The natives connected with the Jedi, or the Awa, Toby, or Hawa in real time. Oh man, Awa, Awa. Like the Avatar, reminds me of the last hour. Last Avatar. There goes again, the UA and UA still make a while. I am who I am. Allahu. And it's Awa, Awa, Awa. All this is Hawa, Managa. Right in your face, just hidden with the U's and O's, right? You wouldn't even see it in first glance. You wouldn't even see it. But it's everywhere. Hawa is everywhere, and that's why they're calling it the most ancient name. A highly prominent name, right? But eventually, they no longer remember. So now they just, even we at first, right? Just talking hey, existence. That existence has an origin back to the Hawa, back to the Picto Paleo, to get your breath and security, your framer and your shaper, connecting us back to the image when we talk our David flow, Sheba flow. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, right? Framer, shaper, flow. We're just surfing the wave. We got a lot more to get on. Right now, as promised, I want to fall back. I think we earn the right to enjoy great videos for the dismount. Man, I love this link. Is Victory alluded to here was actually that of the Khan of the Kara Qatar. Remember, Qatar is Cathay, right? Kara means black or copper or Nehushta over the Seljuk king of Persia, but the name Prester John was certainly in use prior to 1141. Yeah, man, we're talking about the priests. Go, man. Let's go. Let's go. Ahab, for all your beautiful comments, my Nagas. You know what I mean? On Prester John 79, wisdom is worth more than all the wealth in the world. Oh, reminds me of that Proverbs 4, right? Solomon's praying to the shaper. You know, Solomon, we're talking to Prester, right? All this has to do with the priest king Prester John investigation. Prester means priest, John means king. Priest, king, you're talking David, you're talking Solomon, all that. David Salston, Solomon the first, Hanan Kana. Hear you, children, the instructions of a father, attend to no understanding. That's mama. Because in Proverbs 8, she says, I am understanding. Keep my commandments and live. So what is it to seek mama? I have taught you in the way of wisdom. We're talking that framer, because wisdom gives you the ingredients, right? I have led you in paths of uprightness. When thou goes, thy steps shall not be straitened. And if thou run, thou shalt not stumble. Take fast hold of instruction, let her not go. That's mama. Keep her, Managa. That's mama. Who's her? Who's her? For she is your life. Now, he didn't say him, right? He said her, right? He didn't say him. He said her. Framer. One who makes something by putting things together. A meal from various ingredients, threads, right? Together. Wisdom is what the Christians would call it. But this is your mama. Same mama with her arms raised. They say, man, now that's mama. Giving you that look, that reveal. What is she revealing when you walk through that entrance? When you walk through the door? What breath are you getting? What life are you getting? Yeah, man. But the path of the righteousness is as the light of dawn that shines more and more into the perfect day. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. Attend to my words, incline your ear to my sayings. Let them not depart from your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart. Right there in your heart bone. Keep her, for she is your life. Extol her. What does extol mean? Let's go. For the dismount, my not. Extol means what? To praise enthusiastically. You're not just praising mama half-heartedly. You're praising mama enthusiastically. You're praising mama. To praise is halal. We say halal, ha, wah. We give ha, our breath, praise. Because Proverbs chapter 4 tells us to extol her and she will exalt you. We praise her enthusiastically. Halal, ha, wah. And we praise our shaper, our father, equally enthusiastically. She will bring you honor when thou does embrace her. Your father's not telling you to embrace a foreign deity. Your father's telling you to embrace your mama, your breath, your wisdom, your revelation, because in our image you were formed, framed, and shaped. Let us make man in our image. She will give to your head a chaplet of grace, a crown. Solomon's praying so he has that crown of glory, my Naga. We're talking about wisdom, right? Understanding, calm. She is your life. Keep my commandments and live, for she is your life. Yeah. Does North America exist? Ganges, Pishan. We're talking about them waters, them springs out of Eden, Cathay, Pure Land, Promised Land. It's all happening. Fountain of youth flow all through America, right? All through India Superior. We got the fountain of youth flow. Before we get to this chronology video, a couple quick vids, I think we earned our right to fall back. Well, first of all, I just want to give Ahab to all my knockers. Drop in the comments, my bro Joseph Falls. Don't know how to pronounce that, but I think that's Tandave. All right. Love to the bro, man. Fuego, Lego, my naga. We popping off. Hey, man. Thai Battling Company, no cap. No. Ahab to the try. Ahab, man. Return. Remember, turn your maps upside. That's right, man. Your maps have been flipped up to Aura. Charles Johnson, man. Always peace to the indigenous Naga Maru Khan. Yeah, man. Gold Coast, what it do? Shalom. Yeah, reset, research is what we doing. JC Stone, Khan, or Khan, you say means king. Tom Mary Khan. Uh-huh. Land of the beloved king. I'm just playing with etymology translation. Well, yeah, Khan, really means priest. You know what I'm saying? Prester means, excuse me, Prester Khan. You know what I'm saying? What that means, priesthood. The John or the Wang is where we're getting the kings from. But a lot of people based on perspective do interchange the Khan and the king, right? So, absolutely. Your Volim, Tanagoli Sessions, look out for us, man. Coming in hot, Ahab Aqua, Baruch Khan, Humakyo, Nagaville, popping off, man. Rastafari, what it do? What it do, man? Hey, I'm loving this with y'all, man. They trying to stop the way. Yeah, sometimes they try to make my videos skip or mess with my, flow, but just reload and just be patient. We popping off. Prester John is inky or King David is inky. Well, hey, the investigation continues, man. You're going to have to tell me what you think and why you think it, you know what I mean? So we can build. Grind University. High jail, yeah, that's when they was trying to, block the drop. But we got through that, Grind. We got through that. They can't stop the drop, man. They weren't letting my nigga see it at first. See, not letting me see it. Like Kendrick Bourne. But, he popped off, and it's all to the good, man. Hey, I told my niggas dropping beautiful comments. Just let me know you out there. And we're right here together. Love to Shamar, the Queen, She Brews and Bakes, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom tribe. Great way to go into the Shabbat. Been on the cliffhanger since 78. Tune into the frequency, the wave, and the classroom. Ahab, Shamar, Aqua, my Naga, all praise to the Great Spirit. Always our framer, our shaper. We popping off, man. Hey, y'all keeping me going, man. Y'all keeping me popping. Hey, out to this bro, Royal Sons. Someone leaked me into this on IG, and he's on his Prester flow. So I say, let go.
All right, so I'm pretty sure everybody here has heard of the Vatican, right? But did you know the Vatican has a library? The Vatican Library, it is one of the oldest libraries in the world and contains one of the most significant collections of historical texts. It has 75,000 codices from throughout history as well as 1.1 million books. Interesting. It is said to have 53 miles of nothing but textbooks. That's a lot of textbooks, dog. Anyways, I was able to get a hold of one of the books called The Secret Vatican, right? And in this table of contents in chapter 15, it says, greater than Europe and Africa. Greater than Europe and Africa. Let's check this out. So in the top highlighted section, it says, the great names of the past crowded around the discovery of America, as ancient writings, newly printed, were searched for evidence and opinions. It says the great names crowded around the discovery of America. Wonder why so many great names were stuck on America. Now the second highlighted section reads, the route around Africa was to lead not only to the prosperity of the Oriental trade, but to the kingdom of Prester John and to the gardens at the high point of the world. Now that's an interesting name. Prester John. Who is Prester John? According to Henry Louis Gates, he was a black man who discovered the fountain of youth. And he was only known as Prester John or Priest King over there in Europe. Someone even erected a statue or memorial for Prester John in 1986 out there in South Africa. Check it out. Now, the crazy thing about this memorial that was erected in South Africa in 1986 is the dates that they set for Prester John. Check it out. In memory of those seafarers who searched for Prester John from 1145 to 1645. So how the hell was they able to search for this man for that long? I mean, was he really alive for that long of a period? Or possibly longer? Oh, don't worry, the plot thickens too. Check this out. And it's funny how all the official images of Prester John Negro. You see this here? Like, what's really going
Who is Prester John? Red Ruddy, copper color car.
on? Who is Prester John?
Royal Sons, what it do, bro? And everybody popping off with the Prester John investigation. You know what I'm saying? We're just grateful, man, to be a part of the water that's flowing, and we all building together, brick by brick. We building our house, man. Go hit up the bro Royal Sons on IG, man. And with that, man, we belly flopping into some chronology for the trifecta dismount. Autodidactic, yeah, man. Let's just belly flop in some of these flows and see how they add 1,000 years. And by the time you get to King David, who's Prester John, King David, Dalai Lama, love to yourself, Raja here, Raja Chola, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're talking Solomon, you're talking David, you're talking all this, man. You're talking the Americans right here in Cathay, right here in Katniss, right? Right here in Kapungu, Japan, Florida, right here with the Great Khan. This is the Great Khan of China. I thought this was America, man. I thought we was in India, man. Oh no, we in Asia, Cathay, where the Ganges or the Pishon or the Conquer is popping on. High Amazon Queens, we'll get back in that. Davidic princesses, Davidic queens. Oh, we on our Sheba flow. And this is how they did it with the timeline. Let's go.
We find the following image of the shopping mall Galleria Umberto in Naples, Italy. And here we see Naples. Okay, so this is the photo. Pretty cool, old world photo. We've got, that's a pretty small little tram, big wheels, a horse pulling it along. But what we want to look at is up here. And here, Anno DCCCXC. So DCCCXC and Anno is in the year year of. So that is DCCC is 800. 800 and XC 890. Well, there you go. So that's the year 890. Anno is Latin, and we hear it in Anno Domini, which is used to indicate the time division that falls between the Christian era and the Common Era, as they call it. Anno Higari is again a time division. Anno Actatsi Suak is a specified year. Anno Mundi, in the year of the world. Urbis, so in the year. So it's all to do with the year. So this is the years. Anno Lucius, 4,000 years since the fall. Basically, that's what. So that's the timeline of where it's 5,000, the year 5,000 in many calendars. So anno, it doesn't actually give us the actual meaning for anno, but it does mean in the year of, as far as all these definitions use it. Anno, in the year of 890. Okay, in this, and of course, I mean, if we look at this picture, this looks pretty much like it should be 1890. So let's have a look at the next picture. Now, this picture is the same place, as you can see. It's the same place. See, we've got all this up there. Same building. Up here, still got the anno. Now, what have we got up here now? M. DCCCXC. So it's literally the same, but they've added an M.
Boss. Boss. Ain't nothing to see here, boss. They just added 1,000 years too. You know what happens when they add this 1,000 years? I get what happens. You think David's in the BC? They got all this extra time to play with now.
Of course, what does M mean in Roman numerals? M is 1,000.
Ping, pow.
So there you go. Proof right there. They've added, 1,000 years to this building's age. Well, not to the building's age, but they've changed the date, basically. They've added 1,000 years to the calendar.
Wow. Right in your face, ball.
So, added years to the calendar is what we're talking about today. And so what, the pretense is that 1,000 years was added to the date, like literally they added a 1 to the front of it and added 1,000 years to the calendar. But as I said before, it's worked out. There's been other changes, so it's not an exact 1,000 years, but the actual numbers were, just 1,000 years was added to them. And this all came up or was discovered by a Russian man of the name of Anatoly Fomenko. Now, Anatoly was, and this is Anatoly here, and Anatoly Fomenko was born in 1945, and he is an academician of Russian Academy of Sciences. He's an actual member of the Russian Academy of Natural Sciences, an actual member of the International Academy of Sciences of Higher School, an actual member of the Academy of Technological Sciences of Russian Federation. He's a doctor of physical mathematical sciences, a professor of different geometry and applications of the Faculty of Mathematics and Mechanics of the Moscow State Lomonosov University. And he solved a well-known Plateau problem in the theory of spectral minimal surfaces, created a theory of thin classification of integratable Hamiltonian dynamic systems. He's the award winner of the State Prize of Russian Federation of 1996 in the field of mathematics. I mean, this guy is so overqualified. He's just one of these genius types. He's the author of 250 scientific works, 24 monographs and textbooks, and specialist in the field of geometry and topography or topology. calculus of variations, theory of minimal surfaces, symplectic topology, Hamiltonian geometry and mechanics, computer geometry as well. So there you go. And after all of that, because he was bored, he then authored several books on the development and application of new empirical statistic methods for the analysis of historical chronicles, chronology of the ancient time and Middle Ages. So this guy, it's not like he's, gone back and found a few passages in some books and said, oh my gosh, they've wiped 1,000 years. He is basically, he's a left-brain statistician. This guy runs on information. Okay, so what he did is he was studying the movements of the sun and the moon in the past, in historical texts. So he was studying things like, full moons, eclipses, solstices, all this kind of phenomena. And of course, these things are written down in ancient texts. So he was going along and basically referencing them, I guess, and trying to make a chart or something. And he found out that none of it fit, because today we have computer programs that are basically astronomical programs, and you can put in dates into them and it will show you the sky as it was, how many hundreds or thousands of years back that you go. And of course, the reason they can do this is because it's a clock, right? The sky is a clock. How could they go back and show you the sky 400 years ago if we were spinning through space at 666,000 miles what is it, a second or a minute?
Right.
That doesn't make sense. But they do. We have this is software that is used a lot, and people haven't clicked onto that yet, the ones who are using it. But there you go, a little side note. So yeah, he used this software, and basically nothing matched up. All the information. He'd read a book and it'd say, there was a solstice on this date. He'd run the software. He'd look for the solstice, and it wasn't there. So being the kind of brainiac that he was, he looked into it. He wrote 7 volumes so far. Yeah, there we go. 7 volumes of history. History, is it fiction or science?
And I believe we got those. I love the Aquatai Battle in the Drop Library. Just check it out at 432thedrop.com. Password is 1234. You know what I mean? And we got hundreds of documents. We got so much more coming up, man. Love the Drop Nation. Submitting great documents, PDFs, man, everything, man. So we need everybody. It's one drop, one tribe, one vibe. Let's get a few more minutes. He's giving me some background on Flamenco. We've been digging on Flamenco, man, from the balcony. And, just see how they're doing it right in Faceball. And that building drop is one example.
Science. And basically, after all his study, he's worked out that the Middle Ages never existed. They're a complete fabrication. And in the Middle Ages, according to Anatoly, is when the Bible, the New Testament, and the Old Testament both happened in that period. And so, yeah, the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, this time when nothing happened, actually didn't exist. So that's been added, and that helps,
And that's what they try to make it. Oh, Dark Ages, we don't know nothing that happened in this time period. Nah, man. Everything that was happening in the script, you just heard it. He's breaking down, it's coming out the Middle Ages where nothing was supposed to be happening in the Dark Ages, but it's actually filled with the real Israelite history. You can go get that $1,000 book, Medieval Empire of the Israelites by Robert Grisham. I sent that out for free a long time ago. In book drops, map packs. I mean, you got all that stuff. You definitely got it if you got the ether packs. You know what I'm saying? If you still need that, holla at me. Music at 432thedrop.com. We just want to make sure you got the drop. At the end of the day, and at the top of the soul. Let's go.
The controllers push things back in time, and it gives them, an extra, 800 or 1,000 years to add their story, right? To add their script, to change it from what it was. And he also talks about the Bible and the New and Old Testaments being closer than we're told, and also being in the other, around the other way. He actually says that the New Testament happened before the Old Testament. So there's some very interesting stuff in there. Now, like I said, there's 7 volumes of this stuff. I'll leave you this link. This has got links to all the books. You can buy them all. A lot of them are online. I've got a few. I'll see if I can find them and leave the links as well if you're interested. But it is, they are very intense books. So this is where it all came from, Anatoly Fomenko. Now, a big part of the theory of, the added years is, obviously we need to know, where did it come from? Who did this? And we can pinpoint it down to this man, Joseph Justus Scaliger. And he invented what is now known as Scaligerian chronology.
Scallywag.
Which in itself tells you something, right? This guy lived in the 1600s. So why would it be Scaligerian chronology? Wouldn't chronology just be chronology? I mean, putting a name there kind of tells you that they've changed something. So he was a French Calvinist, a religious leader, a man, and a scholar known for expanding the notion of classical history from Greek and ancient Roman history.
I just all hijacks, man. I mean, you see how this is, mind blasting. Stuff, you don't take him at his word, but just dig on it for yourself. That's all we could do. We're all on our investigations. We don't all investigators, you know what I'm saying? So you got to put your story together. Let's get about 4 more seconds of this. I'm going to try to get it.
Latin and other old languages into modern languages, like I think he was doing mainly French. And so as obviously when they're translating books, they can do what they want. At that point, there wasn't an educated populace. Most of them, were sort of the ability to read might have been taken away so that they could do stuff like this, change all the dates and change everything. And it says in here, look, he's been messing with Greek, Roman, Persian, Babylonian, Jewish, and ancient Egyptian history. So easy for them to just mix all the dates around, right?
I know this part's a bit blurry for you, but just, hang in there. We're just trying to listen to the perspective of Fomenko.
And there's lots of questions about, especially Egyptian history and all these different things. When did they really happen? What's the real story? So this guy, and he was, a Jesuit, and he had a big team of people, all, under the name of religion. They rewrote all these books under the guise of translating them. Now, what they did when they were translating them, basically, they went through, and in the, a few hundred years, we used to write dates. It would be in the year of our Lord, and then we would have the year. Now, the way that they signified the year of our Lord was with a J for Jesus, or an I for Iusa, or an X sometimes for Christos. So basically, all meaning, our Lord. So it would be J506, say. So in the year of our Lord, 506. Now, when Scaliger came along, he changed that J into a 1. So the J506 became 1506. It became 1506, effectively adding 1,000 years to the calendar. And this is the big crux of this. This is where a lot of history, it shows us that they could, that one, that they're hiding something, and two, that they have gone and changed history because they've added all these years. We know they have. Things happened in this time period, which we can prove never existed. So it's a complete lie. It's a complete lie. Down here, there's a few things that he talks about, in the books, examples of counterfeit documents formerly used in the Roman Empire. Okay, so they've been counterfeiting documents. He's got the histories of the bishops of Rome, pagan motifs in Christian Europe. So the whole story of Christianity has been played with. Pyramids within the Roman realms, east of west. So we know there's pyramids all over the place now. But basically, what he's showing is what we talk about a lot, and it's a big part of this topic of alternative history is that they've changed everything. The Great Wall of China was apparently built in the 1700s. So there's all the
boss. Let's try to make a double dismount from Aldo Didactic Love to the bro to John Levi. Man, always dropping that drop. Belly flight a little bit. Drop both links for you so you got them.
Today, but I thought we'd just peek at this clock of the old world. And I'm pretty easy on myself. I should be working on this video right now, but I don't want to. And that's okay. I don't
Gotta love his voice, man. Let's go.
think we should be very hard on ourselves. And in this last video, I will have shown you this date of erection at the San Francisco Union Terminal building. And here we can see it. Very important, I think, that I pause it over and over to really give a feeling that this date is not a fluke. And I'll pause it at a certain point if I can, because many people want to see a 1. And here you go, you can see this distortion in the film. Here we go. You see that line running through everything, running through the columns, running through the whole plaque. And a lot of people want to say that this is a 1. If you don't study the film carefully, you'll think that this little glitch. What is glitch? This glitch is just too perfectly spaced here, right in front of this 896. But it is not 1896. And this is a glitch, as you can see here. Let me unpause it real quick. Boom. Glitch gone, 896. Now, I was showing this to a friend today, and we were trying our on the Google Earth here to really get into this plaque and see. Here, it looks like it does not have a 1. Very difficult to get in here. And here, I'll just show you the building as long as we're standing in front of it. And, we always thought this was the Union Terminal building, or at least I did. And in fact, it's not even the Union Terminal building. It's the San Francisco Ferry building. The Ferry building. Important to be this massive, and it is a super cool building. Let me show you what it looks like from above here. Here we go. Just as we saw in that old film footage, the little train comes slamming into this, what we thought was a Union type of terminal hub. But in fact, no. It was actually a ferry building. A terminal for ferries that would travel a food hall and an office building. Designed in 1892, the ferry building was completed in 1898. 6 years. At its opening, it was the largest project undertaken in the city up to that time for a ferry. It's like the ferry is going to park in the building, but no, the largest project years before the Great Earthquake, with a clock tower 245 feet tall, and ultimately the narrative sounds like all the other narratives. A decrease in use leading up to the 1950s, and eventually they tell us they built the bridges, and the entire complex is pretty much abandoned from its original purpose and turns into office space and a little tourism. Here a little look in 1912, and what do we see up here? 915, and today we see a picture that looks like this. It looks like they have added a 1. It looks like they've added the AD. When would somebody put AD before the date? And again, if we look here, in which I think it's most clear, there simply is no 1. Just that glitch as I've shown you. And I'm not trying to make any point here. Who cares, ultimately? But for me, it's just an encouragement to live your life as you would, without being encumbered authorities, there are none. And if anything, all of this glory of the old world should encourage us to pull our own heads out of our asses. And
straight up. Hey, we just say dodge your own damn hijack around here. And that's all we pop off with, man. And, we also, tell these hijacks, man, they better stay in their section. We're going to stay in our section, man. And, that's what it's all about. When we pop off for the tribe, you know what I mean? Your section, is your space. It's your zan. It's everything that's come together in real time for Naga and Naga land and Nagaville for the dismount. Tribe up for the dismount. Hey, stay up in your section. Prester John, installment 80, man. In your section, man. We popping off Dizzle.
Stay up in your section, tribal music flex.
Let's go.
Stay up in your section, tribal music flex.
Let go.
Stay up in your section, guard the intersection. Stay up in your section, guard the intersection. Stay up in your section. From the front yards to the backyard to the boulevard. We was in session, outside with the color guards without no pass, that's an interception. Straight shots for the misdirection. Throw a scroll, that's a loaded weapon. Walking zombies, that's a army and my heart's invested. Battle tested from the battle rounds. When the ether sounds, it's the Thunderdome. Sectioned off, we the hidden ones yelling Nagaville, pushing through the stone. We ain't never worried about no clones. Crystallizing over microphones, energizing over every zone. Hijacking, we do not condone. Listen to the tone of this written poem. No adrenal prone from our star seeds. That's die weed, catch a heat drawn, and I'm melatonin. I just hating on them, but my dragon strong. Got me ether walking through this marathon. Yellow taping with this ambulance, treating my stay up in your section.
Tribal music flex.
Stay up in your section.
Tribal music flex.
Stay up in your section. Guard the intersection. Stay up in your section.
Guard the intersection.
Yeah. Stay up in your section.
Yes.
Smith and Wesson on Tai Chi. Lay down for my wild and then come back round for my key. Do it big for a Naga section. A calm power got a Naga flex. Dragon swords when them trip, they go the right direction. No handouts catching all fades. Long dreads with cold fades. I'm slaying like the old ways, like Jeremiah in them old days. Keep a thump on my set is active. Kalelu still got the body stacking. Antioch to the toe Texas. I'm tribed up, got a nigga bragging like. I think we finally get it, my nigga. We climbing up. These hijackers fearing they mad, they gon' have to give it up. Got the code and the power, the sections they guard it up. Stopping my nigga, we ready, so run it up. In your section,
Tribal music flex.
Stay up in your section.
Tribal music flex.
Stay up in your section. Guard the intersection. Stay up in your section. Guard the intersection.
5-5.
Stay up in your section.
Let's go.
I be steady flexing. This take weight, no stressing. Mentally the weapon. Killer ain't no capping. I just in the sky toe tapping. I'm gonna max out, no lagging. The hijack don't want that to happen. Like stay up in your section. Tribal mafia flexing. Stay up in your section. Shabbat, I'ma get my resting. Stay up in your section. Cause I ain't getting no vexing. Stay up in your section. But hijack ain't got no section. Why they want mine, I reckon? When my ideas I'm tapped in. My mind be free, they trapped in. Dancing on the track, no lapping. Feeling on the beat, don't have it. Rhythm in the heat, not allowed it. Trying to set my door with my pet. Trying to build a store where my land at.
Yeah.
Stay up in your section. Tribal music flex. Stay up in your section. Tribal music flex. Stay up in your section. Guard the intersection. Stay up in your section. Guard the intersection. Stay up in your section. Hijack boy can't stand that. I'ma build a store where my land at. Hijack boy can't stand that. I'ma build a store where my land at. Bought it with the Barbary, come catch that. Bought a system, how I got my first mop back. The Tartary hijack. Grand Larceny is how I got my land check. Grand Armory is how I get the land back. Armor with the code keepers, come check that. Stay armored with my bros on the right track. In the section of our own, don't hide facts. Tell a Naga keep the code, how we fight back. Make a nigga Facebook, no hashtag. Get you bounced like a check, no cash app. Get the breath and the look, don't mind that. Got the apple on the hook, don't bite that. First light, gone fishing for the nice catch. Talk Babba had a cook, don't write that. Swan night, Captain Cook with an eye patch. Got Babylon shit for the nightcap. Last night I was wishing for the right chance. Gesture with my right hand to get it poppin' with decisions. Damn. To get it poppin' with decisions, no romance. Look at my competition stiffin', no slow dance. Keep it dropping on the vision, no gold dag. Steady rockin' on my mission, never pull back. Steady bending like an L, gon' hold that. Smith and Wesson on my towel key like that. Floss and Western in Cali don't like rats. Floss and West in the alley where we burn that. Best Western in Maui, how I relax. Best lesson when you rally, keep your racket back. And you racket in your section. Tribe of music flex. Stay up in your section. Tribe of music. Stay up in your section. Guard the intersection. Stay up in your section. Guard the intersection. Stay up in your section. Mandalore, Razor Crest, no Carfax. Matador, Starfighter, grow cool back. Lightsaber on my hip, going like that. Darth Vader, like the split, gon' hit that. Darth Saber, best guard, where my crown at. Best stars shine brightest when they down back. Best bars hit different when they pound back. Best guard, Mike Vicious with the bounce pass. Marathon hit different when my bro pass. Everything hit different out that brown bag. The difference with a mouth at. Find the speed for my naga that found that. Copperland, Joy World with the tribe at. Got the plan on my hand with my father at. 45 high five for the contact. No contract. Tribal must. Stay up in your section. Tribal music flex. Stay up in your section. Tribal music flex. Stay up in your section. Guard the intersection. Stay up in your section. Guard the intersection. Stay up in your section.
You know how we do. You know how we do. Hey man, welcome back to Nagaland, man. Welcome back to Nagaville and Dewada, Lawrence, Richard, Prince, Eclipse, Yovalim, Ashley Woods, Jericho, Strickland, Daniel, Henriquez, Papa Daddy, what it do, man? Look out for the bro. Nov, man. Country Western, what it do? Natural Law, Charles Johnson, Alfred Hardin, Country West, Nine Spiral, Denzel Pressey, Chris Jackson, Prosper and be great, man. Everybody, man, that's just loving tribal music. Click the links below, man. Make sure you all linked in with Five Eyes Mob. Get your Mob Pack 1 popping up, man. Popping off, man. Right in real time for you, man. And just continue to enjoy the drive. The wave, man. You get on up in here, man. Get cozy. Look out for the updates. Look out for the Prester flow. Pretty soon, man, we'll have exclusive Prester flow just right here for my Nagas. But you can check in, pop in, and get your Tribe Up music foundational stone, man. I'm talking Mob Pack 1, now available on the low right there in the drop shop. And the water for all your Ahab, all the support you're bringing in for the Ox and the Aquas, building the fence in real time, for Joy World. For us, man, we staying up in our section, man. You know what I'm saying? First, you need to build a section, have a section. Because of you, we've raised over 12,441, my naga, to building a section. And to water to you, we're going to keep it going to 20K. We're going to keep it going on up so we can keep it, go to the well, go to the septic, go to the solar panels, build the shelters like the 500 code keepers. They got us, fully popping off. They got our fire burning and halawa to our 500 code keepers. We know that with just a little bit, we can do a lot. And that's what you've been seeing. Over 185 donations to get to the 12,441 mark. Hey, out to my Nagas on the Venmo, on the PayPal, on the CashApp, man. Everything you're doing. We're staying up in our section, man. And it takes a lot of Tribe Up energy, and that's what the Tribe Up music's bringing you. So, support everything you see and popping off, man. This is what Hawa's putting on our heartbone to do. We come through that entrance together, together, my naga. And through that entrance, through that door, we got our Ama. What does Mama say about the entrance, man? For the dismount, what does Mama say about the entrance? Yeah, mama say, pull up, man. Does not wisdom call and understanding put forth her talking your framer? In the top of the high places, by the way, where the paths meet, we're talking the intersection. Guard the intersection. She stands beside the gates at the entry of the city. Managa, at the coming in, right? At the door, at the entrance. You got your mama, big mama giving you that breath and that revelation. And big daddy, big papa giving us that wah, that added security, that foundation, that hook. Then you get your food, your cut off day, your cut off nourishment. And then you build your wall. Then you build your fence outside, my nigga. Because now you have something surrounding, something to contain. And we say, Ahab, for helping us contain our tribe. Build a fence for Joy World. Blue, purple, red, white linen, gold thread, the water to my code keepers. All of you, you know who you are. My fence building Nagas, you know who you are. We building for Joy World. Mama's crying at the entry of the city. At the coming in at the doors, she cries aloud. Unto you, old man, Akwaz, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. Oh, you thoughtless, understand prudence, and you fools, be of an understanding heart. You need to put it together. For I will speak excellent things. Mama speak for herself. And the opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall utter truth. And wickedness is an abomination to my lips. I'm talking big mama with the breath, with the revelation, with the look. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. And there is nothing perverse or crooked in them. They are all plain to him that understands, and right to them that finds knowledge. We're here to find knowledge together. And I pop off and know there ain't no North America. They just found us here, my nugget. They just found us here, and say it with me. Antioch. They just found us here. We coming in high with Prester 81. Look out for the Code Keeper Series Part 2, digging on that video. We just surf the wave in real time, in battle time. Ahab to the battles. Ak, Tai Bat Zan. We getting Zani. And just look out for us, man. Ahab to the drive. Shabbat up loud.